Welcome back to Podcast for Success. I'm your host, Stacey Maynard, your podcast producer, here to help you build your show smarter, not harder. Today, we're diving into one of the more common questions I get in regards to podcasting. Should I do an audio podcast or should I do a video podcast? Spoiler alert, there is a clear winner, but that doesn't mean the other is obsolete. Let's dive in. Welcome to Podcast for Success, produced by City Media Group, where creativity meets strategy and smart shows are built with smarter tools. Whether you're navigating the best systems, diving into the latest AI tools, or want to know behind the scenes moves that takes your show from idea to air, you're in the right place. I'm your host, Stacey Maynard, and each time we talk about branding to batching to setup and scale, welcome to your shortcut to creating a podcast that works. This is how you can podcast for success. Let's hit record. So as we know, audio-only podcasts really have been the traditional format, right? But with the increase of video, people are saying, well, should I do a video podcast? So that's where we get a little bit confused when it comes to, is it an audio podcast? Is it a podcast? Is it a video podcast? And what does all of that look like? Now, let's just break down the pros and cons for an audio-only podcast, right? That's the traditional way where we went on a podcast platform, we clicked play, and we only could hear the audio, right? Back on the days of only listening to podcasts through things like Apple podcast apps or Google Podcasts. Remember those days when that existed? Spotify, all of those ones really had the audio format kind of in the nutshell. So now we have moved into more of a video-based platforms with YouTube taking over the Google Podcast world, and you can upload your podcast there, but people are still calling them video podcasts. But let's talk about the pros and cons of audio only, right? That traditional format for podcasts. Now, they do still work, right? I'm not giving any spoilers away in which one's the winner, but this is why they work, right? They are much easier to produce. We don't need cameras, we don't need lighting, we don't need editing on multiple tracks, all of that kind of stuff. We just don't need it. You could literally grab your phone, record into your phone anywhere you were, and you could get going. And that was great. Now, audio only, believe it or not, they're saying it's less intimidating, especially for beginners. And that's an interesting one because some people do feel self-conscious on camera, and I get that. But when I first started as a producer, and I would say, let's do a video, and I held up the phone and they could see themselves, everyone kind of got used to that. But as soon as I kind of held literally just a microphone in front of them and sort of asked them those questions, all of a sudden the intimidation factor went really high. But audio only is less intimidating, right? You don't have to show yourself on camera. You don't have to, again, look good for the camera. You could literally just grab your mic and wherever you're recording it on, and you're good to go, right? Audio-only podcasts are also more portable because, again, you can do them anywhere you want, but for the listener, they become very portable, right? The whole concept of podcasts were the ease of consumption, meaning that you could do it while you were you could listen to podcasts while you were driving, you could listen to podcasts while you were working out, you could listen to podcasts while you were on a walk or whatever you were doing. They were very multitasking, right? You could do things while you were listening. So they're very easy for the consumer. But in today's world, yes, that is still a possibility, right? You can still upload an audio-only podcast for your listener to listen in whatever podcast app that they are, right? So they can still do that multitasking aspect, which is really cool. And it is easier to edit, right? I mean, there's no two ways about it. When I'm editing an audio-only track, I don't have to worry about the flow of what that video looks like, as long as the audio sounds good and as long as the flow of the audio sounds good. So it is definitely easier from an editing perspective. So those are all the pros for audio only, lots of them, which is really good. And again, those are the traditional ways. Now, when we get into the cons of an audio only podcast, remember, we have a video first world that we're living in right now. So audio only does have a lower discoverability, simply because they don't show up on things like YouTube and Instagram Reels. Now, clips are really good to put on Instagram, and YouTube has taken over from that discoverability perspective, right? YouTube is definitely a place where people are searching for content, and they can either listen to your podcast on YouTube, put the video away, or they can watch it. So it definitely helps in that discoverability perspective. Spotify is definitely pushing video first podcasts. They're absolutely pushing videos onto their platform, and they're encouraging people to watch videos on Spotify. Apple is doing the same thing in regards to video. So that is some of the cons in regards to audio only. And, it's that body language, right? Like, think about that personality. Like, they can hear your voice, but when they see you talking, when they can see you engage, when I'm interacting with you, that kind of stuff definitely shows up more on a video than it does the audio aspect. So think about visibility, thinking about engaging with your audience, think about what makes sense for you, but think about that audio only versus maybe you want to encourage you to do video. And I'm still not giving away what the true winner is here, but there are definitely pros and cons in regards to an audio only podcast. Now let's talk about why video podcasts, or just podcasts in general, because we're kind of getting away from the word of audio podcasts or video podcasts. We're just saying podcasts, right? And that kind of means that it's either audio only or video only. So basically, wherever you're recording, some of the pros of doing video, it really does add a whole new layer in regards to your visibility, because YouTube is the search engine, right? It is Google. People are still going to YouTube. They're still searching for stuff. And when your video pops up, that is what they're going to watch, right? So sometimes, even though audio podcasts are on YouTube, I do believe that videos on YouTube are still the way to go, right? Because it is the search engine. And then think about the social media platforms. Think about Instagram and think about TikTok, right? Those are visual platforms where your videos can go on to, or clips can go on to, right? They want to watch and see what you're doing and what you're talking about. And videos have a higher engagement rate. That's just a fact. People trust people. People want to see who you are. They want to see your expressions. They want to see what you look like so they can connect with you. Basically, when they see you, they can engage with you. They can understand sort of how you talk. And even when you take those pauses, they can see your face that you're thinking, or they can relate to you. So the fact is that people just relate to your face, and they relate to seeing you over just hearing you. And then again, it's that repurposing potential. This is such a big one, right? When you do a video, you can take those clips. Just think of what one video can do. One video can become a reel. It can become shorts that you can put differently onto YouTube. They can become stories. They can become things you put on TikTok. You can take the video and turn it into a blog post. You can take the video and turn it into so many things. You can literally take the audio from the video and put it out as an audio only podcast if that's what you want to do. But you have options if you just do one video, whereas if you do the audio, you don't have as many options. So some of the challenges is that people are still doing audiograms. I don't love audiograms. I'm just going to say it here. I don't like them. I don't just want to see a static image with that audio bar. That's basically from a really long time ago. I'm going to say it was, so 2023, but it's the truth. And if you have the opportunity to do a short or a reel or a TikTok and have that segment of your podcast where someone goes, wow, that's really cool, I want to watch more. And then they have the ability to go and find the video and watch the entire thing. Why wouldn't you make that easy for them, right? And again, taking that one transcript of your video and turning into so many things, there's just so many options there, right? So just think about that one video can turn into so many different things. And again, you also have that SEO boost, right? You've got titles on your thumbnails. You can tag in YouTube, right? Basically, your content can live so much longer and can be discovered easily when it comes to video. So you think I'm talking about the clear winner here, but hang on, there are some cons when it comes to doing videos, right? It's not just you have to do video because that's what works. There is a lot more setup when it comes to doing videos, right? You need lighting, you need a mic, you need the framing, you need to make sure that your background's okay, right? You actually have to get dressed to do a video, right? I know that was the big thing when I used to teach podcasting many years ago, was how easy it was to do podcasting in your pajamas, right? But when we're talking now about putting yourself on video, I'm really going to encourage you to get dressed and not do a video in your pajamas, right? So you do need to kind of have that kind of mini setup or that mini studio that when you're inspired to do a video, you can just hop behind the mic and start recording, right? Now with a video as well, it does have higher file sizes and it's a little bit more when it comes to editing to have that smooth transitions and that smooth video, but it is worth it, right? And trust me, it can feel a little overwhelming without a system. And we're going to talk about how to break that down and what systems work best when you're recording, but I'm going to talk about that in the next episode. But right now we're really talking about the true winner in regards to audio and video. And I do want you to remember, video doesn't have to be perfect to perform, right? You don't need to have this high quality, perfect video that's with the high quality cameras. You can literally use your phone, frame it well, and you're good to go. You just have to show up consistently. Okay, now let's talk about results, because this is a big one, right? Like if you're going to do audio only, if you're going to do video, what makes sense in regards to those analytics and the results that you're going to get with each one? Because it's great to talk about the setup and ease of doing it, but if you're going to spend the time to create a podcast and you're going to dedicate that system to make sure that you're recording is good and all of that kind of stuff, you want it to be discovered, right? That's the big thing. We want it to grow, we want it to reach a lot of people, and we want it to be discovered. So audio only podcasts do tend to grow a little slower simply because it's a little bit of a difference when it comes to that listenership, right? But you do get that loyal listenership. It just takes a little bit more time to grow. And it doesn't grow overnight. Neither one, audio only or video only, neither one of them grow super fast, but discoverability is limited to basically kind of the promotional. So audio only podcasts are getting less discoverability in regards to those search results. So again, you do get that loyal listenership, which is great, but your discoverability might be limited with your own social media and your own community. So just think about that piece when you're doing an audio only. But when you're talking about video podcasts or just podcasts in general, because we're going to stop saying audio only and video at the end of this, but basically the discoverability is higher, right? Again, we already kind of alluded to that earlier when we talked about YouTube, but video podcasts on YouTube get more discoverability, right? It is the search result place. So think about people who are not following you, they're never heard of you, they're not following you on social media. They're not part of your community. They're not part of your world. They are going to find out who you are simply by having your video on YouTube. So that's a big one when it comes to that discoverability. And that's a big push if you are not already doing video on your, doing a video as part of your podcast world. So I also want you to think about platforms like TikTok and Instagram. We already kind of talked about that before, but those clips from your podcast really can go viral, right? And you just don't get that with audio. You can't just put up an audiogram. I can almost guarantee you will not find an audiogram that is viral on TikTok or Instagram Reels. But can you find the clips from your podcast? Can you find the clips of a video that somebody did going viral of what they're talking about? Absolutely, 110%. And then they're going to go, wait a minute, can I go over to their video and listen to the entire thing? Absolutely. It's basically as simple as if you want to grow faster, you want to go wider, you want to reach more people, you want to be more discovered, winner, winner, chicken dinner is video. That's really as simple as it gets. There's so much more that you can do with video. There's so much more to have with video, and there's so much more opportunity with video. So it really doesn't make sense if you're going to sit behind a mic and you're going to record to not do it on video. And that's just really as simple as it gets. But before you jump into the complete video bandwagon, audio still might make sense for you. And here's why. If you are just getting started and you simply are getting stuck on the tech, do not let that stop you. Audio still has its place, right? If your bandwidth is like, I just need to get this content out and I don't want to start with a big studio. I don't want to worry about lighting. I don't want to just think about all of that stuff. That's okay. Start with audio. Get the reps in, build that confidence, start posting your stuff, get your podcast out there. Done is better than perfect. But have a plan of visibility in mind. Is this where you're going to stop and only do audio? Or is this where you're going to start and you're going to continue to go and you're gradually going to work towards video? That's amazing. And that's why those tiny steps are really important, right? It's important to start. It's not going to work if you are going to sit on all of the content and all of the information that you want to share and it's holding you back because you don't want to be on video. No. Start with audio. Get your voice on the air. Get it out there. Start practicing. Put them out there. And then when you're ready, you can move to video gradually as long as it's part of your visibility plan. Okay, so the best of both worlds, right? We want to use your voice and we want to get it everywhere. So this is what I recommend. Record in video. That's what we're doing. Even if it's just simply a basic webcam from your computer, record a video. Extract that audio and put it where audio makes sense. There's lots of podcast platforms that are just audio only. But for ones that are video as well, like Spotify is really pushing video right now, you want to make sure we have that video on Spotify. Also, what you can do with your video is clip the best clips or the best parts and put them out as reels, put them out as shorts, and put them out as TikToks, right? That's why we want to have that video. And then take AI tools, right? Use those AI tools to pull the transcript, turn this video into a blog, into an article, into social media posts, into quotes that you can use so that you can take that one recording and literally pull all the content and get it everywhere. Your voice needs to be heard, and your video that you're going to do makes it visible. Okay, so audio or video, let's just say, I think video is the clear winner here, but if your goal is to stay in your comfort zone, audio is great. There's no problem with that. That's what podcasting started as. But if your goal is to grow, build authority, and be seen, video is your best friend. And the best news, you don't have to choose. Remember, start where you are, layer video in when you're ready, and build systems to support your growth along the way. You've got this. Let's turn your voice into visibility and your message into momentum. Thanks for tuning in to Podcast for Success. If you're ready to work smarter and grow your show, be sure to follow, rate, and leave a review. Want even more tips and tools? Visit podcastforsuccess.com, where we share more free resources, behind-the-scenes setup, bonus content, and the latest digital trends. Until next time, keep creating, keep recording, and keep showing up.